Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. Welcome to our online integral deep listening video curricula. I'm right. If I'm wrong, that means I'm inferior. If I am wrong, that means that I'm stupid or weak or that I'm a failure. It's more important to be right than it is to be loving. These sorts of thoughts or statements are a type of cognitive distortion called always being right. It's a cognitive distortion because it's irrational to expect yourself to be right all the time. In addition to it being impossible, it's not healthy. You learn from your mistakes and failures. As noted in a previous video, your character is determined more by how you handle yourself in times of challenge than by how much of the time you're right. It takes a lot of energy to be right all the time. Energy that can be better spent enjoying life. With this cognitive distortion, you're always fighting against parts of yourself that you think are a mistake or a failure. Is that wise? There is a continuum between being right and being loving. Those who need to be right all the time are easily seen as rigid, uncaring, self-righteous, opinionated, prejudiced, and insensitive. They themselves tend to view those who need to be loving all the time as insipid, spineless, two-faced chameleons who change with the circumstances in an endless quest to get other people's approval. This is because they lack their own approval. Needing to be right is a compensation for a pervasive fear that you are in the wrong and out of control, that you are a failure. If you pretend that you know what you are doing or insist on your correctness long and loud enough, perhaps someone else will believe you, providing you with the validation that you can't give yourself. True believers are excellent examples of this psychopathology. They know what is right and tell others in the hope that by doing so, it will somehow expiate their pervasive feelings of inadequacy. When you're dreaming, you're usually using this cognitive distortion. That's because you believe what you think and feel about what you are seeing and doing while you are dreaming. This is a mistake, because what you believe about what you see and do in your dreams is generally more incorrect than correct, as you can demonstrate to your own satisfaction by interviewing a few dream characters. Your conclusions about what you experience in your dreams generally validate your cognitive distortions. For example, you end up concluding that you were right to be scared of that monster that was chasing you because you end the dream in such a way that any alternative reality is shut out and is not presented. Needing to be right is related to the black and white cognitive distortion. The inability to accept being wrong or contradicted is a sign of immaturity, while an ability to accept and use ambiguity is a sign of greater intellectual maturity. Healthy adults can hold two or more contradictory perspectives, feelings, or ideas in mind at the same time without having a meltdown. The more you learn to ask questions in your dreams, the more you are moving away from the cognitive distortions in them. Many people who have had near-death or mystical experiences are stuck in this cognitive distortion. They've seen God, learned the secrets of the universe, experienced truth, and know the nature of reality. The overwhelming clarity, love, and wisdom in these experiences can wipe out any and all ambiguity. However, if you have seen the truth, what's wrong with that? The problem is that everyone's account is a little bit different. If they are all true, with a capital T, then truth is so individualized as to be trivial. If they aren't all true, then cognitive distortion is occurring, and probably a lot of it. Most people resolve this dilemma by pointing out that there is broad agreement on the nature of near-death and mystical experiences, and that's the truth with a capital T. While this may be the case, beware of those who come back from these experiences thinking that they know the truth. Most probably, they are lost in the delusion of a cognitive distortion, and they want your company in it. Needing to be right keeps you in the self-righteous, judgmental, persecutorial role in the drama triangle. You see this in true believers of all kinds, who love you unconditionally, as long as you'll drink their particular brand of Kool-Aid. If you don't, there may be attempts to ostracize you or otherwise punish your non-adherence to the current mainstream reality of groupthink. Galileo and Spinoza are two famous examples of ostracized geniuses that come to mind. Always needing to be right is also an example of a logical fallacy called dogmatism. It occurs when you are unwilling to consider alternatives to what you are sure is right or true. Jesus is Lord because you feel it in your heart. You are sad because you just are. You are a failure because you know you are. You are right because you know the truth. Out of all the many possible or alternative possible ways of seeing, feeling, or behaving, only yours are correct. And that's because you know it is. If pressed on this, you may appeal to some untestable reality, intuition, or to some unavailable authority, such as God's will, divine order, or karma. These are not explanations. They're justifications. There is a difference. At best, an explanation appeals to testable, verifiable evidence. A justification, on the other hand, is a dogmatic assertion that cannot be verified. When have you used this cognitive distortion? Write an example, and then write an antidote for it. Here are some examples from the beginning. If I'm wrong, that means I'm inferior. Well, you could substitute something like, being wrong means I'm human. It means I'm alive. Second example, if I'm wrong, that means I'm stupid, weak, or that I'm a failure. One can substitute, being wrong means I have an opportunity to pay attention and learn something. It's more important to be right than to be loving. Well, we can substitute, needing to be either pretty much guarantees that I'm neither. So, work with these and let us know what your results are. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.